So, anyway, here we go.
I started at part 5 million because it took so many times to get the show going again tonight. It was like over and over and over again because Spreaker, it wasn't Skype this time, it was Spreaker just spinning and spinning and spinning. So I did Facebook Live, and once I pointed at it and like, this is what's happening live, and I was like, wow, what is really happening here? And we were trying to spread a certain word, and it was weird because once I Facebook Live and showed it, it went live, and so that was interesting. But yeah, it was pretty cool, and we finally got to finish the show, even though it was an hour overtime, which we generally wouldn't do. And Neil
Right.
was so cool with it and kept flowing. But yeah, it was just crazy. I didn't understand it. I still don't, but
Oh yeah.
whatever.
Well, first of all, Spreaker sucks. Second of all, yeah, you could call Neil at like 2 in the morning and ask him to go fishing. He'll be like, "Yeah, let's go." You know. So he's always down for anything at all times.
Hey, don't call me 2 o'clock in the morning, man. It's not a good idea.
Well, it's just a metaphor, but you know what I mean.
Hey, you know what, Trisha? We had the best damn show than David Icke and David Wilcox that anything could do, man. I'm telling you.
Really?
Man.
First of all,
But,
who's
you know,
the
I'm
guy in
not
the
here
hat
to-
with the
I
cigarette?
don't have an ego problem.
Who is that guy?
You know,
All right, hold on. All right, first of all,
I can actually prove everything I say.
oh, I don't doubt it, and trust me, Neil, we've spent many hours on the phone, and I know exactly where you're coming from, and I feel you 100%. But I do have to ask right now, everybody that has their camera turned on, is there a specific reason why you have to have your camera turned on? Because the audio quality would be a lot better if you turned your camera off. I will accept all answers now.
Generally, don't have any issues with that. Sometimes we have somebody come through and it's like echo, 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 and we're like, okay, who's got the echo? And we're trying to figure out who has the echo. But otherwise, we can see each other, we can communicate, and it's all good. And it makes us feel closer together because we can see each other. You know, it's one realm of hearing each other, but once you see each other, it's another different realm, and it's just bringing us closer and closer together. And I enjoy that. But you don't have to do, Ron, we don't have to do the video Skype to feel that close. We can do audio, and that's just as good. All good and well. If you want to do video, you can. If you want to do audio, you can. And it's all awesome. On my part, I love to hear and see everybody, and I don't put any prejudice against anybody that I can't see. But yeah, it's just kind of like an after party. If I can see you, that's cool. If I can hear you, that's cool. As long as we're on the same page and we're talking, we're sharing different thoughts and so on and so forth. You don't have to do video to be on here. You can do audio. It's all good and well. It's just us getting together, sharing our perspectives, and going on from there.
Yeah, well, right. Yeah, that's really what it is all about.
Yeah.
But just to put in perspective,
you know what?
well, here's the only thing though, real quick, is that
you know the
hold on. Here's the thing: is that I'm connected through an Ethernet cable through a 450 megabit download speed, which means your internet cannot possibly be better than mine. With that said, you guys are cutting out every couple of seconds. So I know it's not on my end. I'm sure, maybe one of you are using Wi-Fi. I don't know which one it is. But Tessa, you're coming in pretty clear. Tessa's coming in pretty clear. The guy with the hat and the earphones, well, he really hasn't talked, so I can't really say.
Ron breaks up a lot. he's got not the best internet because he's on the flat plains and he believes in flat Earth and
Well, and that's not
in the world. So we try to remain pleasantly, encumbrant of hearing what he has to say. But yeah, it does break up a lot when he does that. And sometimes when we have somebody come in from the outside, it's like whoa, 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 whoo, 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 and like echoes going on. But generally, it's a really good time, and we can hear each other and share our perspectives, and we don't really have that much interference. And I see this, like, who is that with the weird...
It's Daryl.
Yeah,
God, I got my back brace on.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, you need to clean your lens or something. I can barely see you. It looked weird, but now I can see.
It's got stuff in it. Let me clean it up.
It's always a boob shot with
I have
Daryl.
this scoliosis brace. I have such severe scoliosis. It's no joke. I'm trying to. I'm doing this physical therapy to try to strengthen my core. So
There it goes.
There we go.
like 3 collapses in my 3 different areas that are collapsed. So to avoid an operation, I'm just trying to strengthen my core. I have to suspend myself from anything. I mean, put myself in traction and breathe out, breathe into my collapsed, back. But this is pretty cool. It's like state of the art, this back brace. See it?
Yeah, that's some serious.
It's kind of like corset, but not quite as sexy.
It's really tight. I should wear it tighter, really, to keep my back from collapsing. Yeah, there we go. That's it.
For a minute, we couldn't really see what was going on, but now I can see you.
Yeah, it's got 3 different Velcro things. This is the way I should really wear it. Can't breathe. But it's awesome because I don't fall over. I was falling on people on the subway and at church, just leaning on everybody. Almost got my ass.
Protected from sword.
From what?
Sword. Yeah.
From
You'll be okay. Couple of swords.
From the sword.
Yeah, we can't hear you very well, sir. With the hat. Can you turn up your volume a little bit, or is that something?
Not my mic volume. I don't think so.
Did you hear my new joke?
The camera.
I don't know if you heard my new joke about Bigfoot and an alien and a green alien.
No, I didn't. No, not yet. Let's hear it.
Okay, so Bigfoot and this gray alien were on this bridge going fishing, and they were drinking beers and stuff. So they both had to take a leak. So they're, peeing off of the bridge, and Bigfoot says, "Damn, this water's cold." Yeah, and it's deep too.
You should have said that on the show. Well, I guess we're still doing a show.
You like that one? I love it.
I got to remember that one.
Just the fact that he's laughing so hard makes me laugh so much harder.
I didn't even finish the joke. He was laughing.
Wait, hold on. There was another lady on here earlier.
I thought that was the punchline.
Bigfoot says the water's deep, and the alien says, yeah, and it's deep too. No, he said it's cold. Damn, this water's cold. It's deep too. That's why those gray aliens have such long arms, I mean, unless
Wow.
Yeah. They must have to. They had to grow them that long to do that.
Well,
hey, did
anyone? Allens.
Sometimes you gotta really be able to reach around, So.
Do you still have your show on?
Well, I started a part 2. We've got a couple of audience folks listening. But I think most of them left. Well, because with my Spreaker account, I can only do 3 hours, and the 3 hours was up, so I had to start a new one. So, but Dan's here from Australia. Cheers, Dan. You're a trooper. I don't even know what the fuck. What is it like? Man, I don't know. It's quite a lot later. It's definitely the next day than it is right now. But thanks, Dan, for tuning in. By the way, Dan is definitely one of my favorite out of all of the people that listen to the show and hang out in the chat room. Dan always has something brilliant to say. He always has a great link to share. And, he says it's 8:30 p.m. on Sunday, which is,
Sunday.
wow. I mean, that's like time traveling, basically.
It is.
Super Bowl is already over.
Yeah. But anyway, so Tessa, I'm just kind of curious. So before, because, Dave Cruz was doing the Saturday gig at Spaced Out Radio, right, for a while, and then Joe Roop was doing it for a while. But then after the split, there was what's her name, Ellen, the one that was doing Sundays. So I'm just kind of curious, how long have you been affiliated with Mr. Scott there, and how exactly did your opportunity to do the Saturday night show come about? And who is this guy?
Oh, somebody.
He's backing up.
He looks like Rasputin. Wait, just went away. Did you guys not see that Rasputin looking guy?
Yeah, I saw BTO. But no.
The Russian Queen. All right, anyway.
England stopped doing the show, and
Did she quit or did she get fired?
Good question. I would love to know the answer to that.
I think both.
Joe Monk said he was going to blow her up, and that was when we did the San Francisco UFO conference.
Who is this guy?
And
It was
so she quit, and then Dave. And then after Joe quit, and then I came on, so I started Space, and then I started doing Saturdays and Sundays. So it was
Okay.
weird.
Well, I'm cutting off my video just to save the bandwidth. More specifically, because I'm wondering, who is this Rasputin guy? How long did it take you to grow that beard, sir?
It's BTO.
Is that BTO?
Yeah.
Who was the guy with the headphones on?
Well, I already don't know who he is.
That's Gigi.
That worked with David.
All right, that's it. I'm turning my
I don't
camera
recall
back
your
on.
name. I might recognize your voice, but I don't recall your name right now.
I'm Gigi here, the guy with the shit on the wrists. That's me.
Gigi is from
Okay.
Shift Happens.
Happens. Yeah.
He's
I
a
didn't know
shithead.
you were Dave's partner before.
Who?
Yeah.
On
Lighting the Void? I mean, Beyond the Strange?
Oh, you mean Joe?
No, Dave Cruz.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Before Shift Happens, I was a co-host on Beyond the Strange with Dave Cruz for about a year. That was like 3 years ago, though.
Oh, Beyond the Strange. Okay.
Yeah. Well, he kind of, he's
Not that
doing his own
other-
thing now. But, we're still good friends. Yeah, for sure. But I'm still curious about this guy's beard. How long did it take you to grow that beard, sir?
About a year.
Really? That's it? Because
About
I
a
tried to
year,
grow...
and,
I tried to
nice
grow
to
this
find-
shit out. It got about like here, and then it just kind of stopped growing. But you seem to have that Middle Eastern genetic beard gene where you can
That's
just grow
true,
it
though.
infinitely, right?
hopefully.
Beard, different genes. I can't grow a beard that long. Yeah,
Well, it's finally nice to see you, Gigi.
Alright.
Cortana. I
Well,
used to listen to Shift Happens.
Wait,
So
who?
that's cool.
Wait, is it the hat guy or the beard guy? Which one is saying that?
the beard guy.
Okay. Yeah. No. Cortana has been. She's been MIA for the last couple of months. She will be coming back soon, hopefully. But yeah, I'm glad to hear that you listen to our show. I do appreciate that. And I really do appreciate that beard. I mean, that's pretty magnificent.
Well, Dave loves it.
I only know one
loves a
other
good
guy
beard.
that has been able to grow a beard like that. And he was also... actually, I don't know what his genetic line is from, but he's obviously not English, I guess you can say. But yeah, props to you for that. And that must bother the shit out of you, doesn't it? Because if I don't shave for like 2 days, it bothers the fuck out of me. How do you deal with that?
It doesn't, because when I started shaving, I always shaved down instead of shaving up. So I really got those bumps on my skin. So
That
I
is
can feel it grow.
That is the secret. I haven't used shaving cream not only in any amount of years, I've never used shaving cream. You just shave down and you get a proper fucking razor. Shaving cream is a scam, basically. You don't fucking need it. You just fucking shave down with a razor. I agree. I like this guy. I like this guy. Hey, what's your name, sir? What's your name, sir?
Hey, you're right. You're right, GG. I don't use shaving cream neither.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. Now, but what is your name? I just want to know your name so I can reference you in my shaving jokes. You must have a
If
name.
you can hear me, it's Beyond the Omniverse.
Beyond what?
Beyond the Omniverse. I've asked a few questions on your show.
Beyond the... Yeah, I've seen you... Okay. Yeah, I've seen you on Twitter. Okay. Now...
On Twitter, no. On your show, Shift Happens.
In the chat room, right?
Yeah, in the speaker chat.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Now, back to the guy with the hat and the earphones. You seem to be having a very good time. You laugh a lot, but you haven't said anything.
Okay. Okay, as far as shaving goes, I get a little bit of like a regular hand cream, like nothing gel stuff, just basic white hand cream.
Nah, fuck any cream. No cream. No shaving cream, no hand cream, fuck all that shit. You don't fucking need it. Just like he said, you just shave down. You're wasting your money, sir. I'm telling you right now. It's a big scam.
Or
see? Look at him. Yeah. But,
can I shift my sentence?
No. Well, okay, yeah.
A little bit of my hands, but I've already, this is already wet. A little bit of cream like this, roll down the razor. It's smooth as butter, not just pure water. My face, my skin, like, I don't have the genes to grow a giant beard like guy from ZZ Top, right?
Right, yeah. Now, I hold on. I got to pause you right there. You just said...
I'm on TV tonight, so I shaved for the occasion.
All right. Well, I get your shaving process.
I get my goatee going, and that's all I can do, really, because it's everything else.
Yeah. Well, I do understand your shaving process, although I disapprove of it. I do understand it, but I can't help but notice you just said ZZ Top, as if you're not from America. So where are you from, sir?
The good America, the north part.
Canada?
Oh, so you're from Canada. Well, that makes sense. That's all right. All right. Yeah, it's just kind of weird, you know. I don't know.
And America is the only country in the world that says Z.
Yeah, that's
Everybody else
right.
in the whole 220 countries.
America is also the only country that says Fahrenheit, and we're the only country that measures shit in feet. We're obviously dumbasses when it comes to the rest of the world. I don't understand why we're separated so
We don't
fucking differently.
England
But,
uses
I
Fahrenheit
think it
and
was
miles per
intentional.
hour Still.
Yeah, I
The
think.
only two countries are England and USA. You're the best two buddies.
Yeah, but we use completely different terms than England, which is so fucking stupid. Like, if you actually look at the American system of measurement when it comes to feet or whatever, it doesn't make any fucking sense. When you look at the metric system, it's all perfectly, divided and related. And it makes you wonder why. Who in the fuck decided to start Fahrenheit? Who in the fuck decided to start feet?
Mr. Fahrenheit.
Who's
Leaders.
responsible for this shit? This is ridiculous. Even as an American, I can recognize how stupid this shit is. So who the fuck is responsible for this?
Okay, who decided that the freezing point, like Fahrenheit, was 32 degrees?
That's my point.
And that's
Who?
Zero. It should be zero. That makes sense, right?
Well, in Fahrenheit, I think it's zero, right?
Degrees, because
What?
that doesn't make any sense, because zero is nothing, but the freezing point, there is something.
True that.
Yeah, but there's also less than freezing point. All right, we've got a couple of chats in the chat room I haven't been looking at. Let me see. The difference between 30... What the fuck are you saying? And 50 century is only... Okay, well, here's an interesting fact from Dan James out here in Australia. Or out there, rather. He says, here's a scam for you, Gigi. The difference between 30 SPF sunscreen and 50 SPF sunscreen is only 1% protection. So there's your fact of the day. Right there. Think about that. Chew on that.
Better protection is not going in the sun at all. This is from the other Australian.
No, he's very Australian. All right, so now we got some other guy here. Who's this?
Right. And
Another.
Andrew.
Guy without the hat.
Yeah, the guy without the hat. Who are you?
Ah,
I'm Andy from Australia.
What's your name?
Andrew.
Andy. Okay. Well, I'll
Yeah,
just
I'm
call you
Australian.
Andy. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what is it, like 9 o'clock out there? Or 8:45, I guess?
8:45 for me, and for Robert it would be 7:45 because he's in a different state.
Right.
We got daylight saving.
Oh, wait, is Robert the guy in the hat?
I can't see Robert. Is it?
No.
John from Saskatchewan. The
Man,
one cat.
you guys are confusing the fuck out of me. At least I know where Andy is.
We got White and Andrew from Australia. From Saskatchewan.
Oh, that's right. Guy in the hat is from Canada. We already learned that.
Yeah, Ronald.
Now, we've got wow. We have like 5 or 6 people here, none of which are from America, except me or Tessa. I guess you're probably from here a little bit, right?
And Omni and
Chat.
Oh,
1,
wow.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we got 10 people in here.
2 Canadians,
10 people.
2 Australians,
Yeah.
How is this?
and the rest are American.
Who is that lady, by the way? The one with the white hair.
Sandra.
It's me, Sandra.
That's you, Sandra?
Yeah.
The one that's in our chat room every show?
uh-huh.
Oh, well, hey, nice to kind of see you digitally. Yeah.
I can see her just fine. She's Beautiful.
Yeah, no, it was just you, Tessa. You just kind of cut out there for a second. What part of the country, or I guess what part of the world, are you in?
I'm from Vancouver Island, Victoria.
Yay!
So you're in Canada too?
Mm-hmm.
How dare, man!
He's
I
on
wish,
the other side of the Pacific, and
dude. I want to move to Canada so bad, but Canada apparently will not allow me in their country. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
won't allow.
Well, because I grew up in Texas, where weed is illegal, so apparently I'm a huge criminal because I had some weed on me one time. So,
That goes back and forth, man.
Yeah.
That goes back and forth.
It's kind of amazing because I live in California now. Out here in California, I could smoke a blunt outside of a cop station and they won't do anything. But in Texas, if you just smell like weed, you don't even have to have weed. If you just smell like it, they will arrest you. It's fun.
Yeah,
It's like,
your floorboard, you're a felon.
yeah. So I'm basically, I mean, technically I can go there in 5 years, but I would rather go there now.
Okay.
I have family in Alberta, Raymond, and they've come down here. And one time they were driving us from the rec center, and he started driving down the wrong side of the road. And I'm like, "Holy shit! Do you guys drive on the other side of the road there?" And they're like, "No." And I'm like, "Well, what are you doing then?" It was like confusing, but interesting. I still have family there. My grandmother, Nova Rose O'Brien, was actually in the Royal Canadian Air Force, and she came down to America, met this asshole from Kentucky, married him, had kids. They had 4 sons. One died before he was born, like kind of a miscarriage. And then the rest, my dad was born in Utah, even though he's from Arkansas. The other 2 from Arkansas. My uncle,
now, I cannot help but notice that you just...
founder of Wendy's.
I cannot help but notice that you just said a partial miscarriage in passing. I feel like that means, you know, what do you mean a partial miscarriage?
Like, first he was alive, he died. Like, she gave birth, he took a breath, but then he died. So it was considered, at that time, a miscarriage. And then it was weird because when I was pregnant with my first daughter, I had severe kidney failure, bladder infection, so on and so forth. I was in the hospital for about 3 weeks. Then I finally had my daughter, but it was weird because the name of my doctor was the name of my uncle that passed away. So that was interesting. And then, like I was saying, Dave Thomas is my uncle. He was adopted into the family, but he was actually a son of my grandpa. But back in that day, if you're not married, it's not considered legitimate. So my grandpa adopted him into our family, even though he had that outside marital affair. And when Uncle Dave was born, they adopted him to make legitimate, and then I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I was adopted, yada yada, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. If you look at pictures of Grandpa, pictures of my Uncle Dave, they look exactly the same. And when my grandma passed away, I had pictures with my grandpa and my Uncle Dave. I was basically at his knee. I was knee high to a grasshopper, or knee high to Uncle Dave. But yeah, he always tried to use that thing as far as I'm adopted. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, so on and so forth, to get that kind of persuasive thing toward people. Feel sorry for me because I was adopted. Well, you have been adopted into the family that your actual father was a part of, but that your mother and your father weren't married at the time, then you're considered adopted and not a part of that family. Even though he is blood to us, he was trying to use that to propel his thing. And I really do look up to what he was doing as far as helping adopt children to grow and he was he was illegitimate, but he wasn't. He was a part of the family, and he was blood. But even though I wrote him, my father wrote him. He got certain parts of our lineage, as far as when my grandpa passed away, he got certain parts of the property, so on and so forth. He was our family. He just wanted to deny it and kind of getting that sympathy vote. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right.
And my dad, being the funny asshole he is, well, your uncle passed away today. He got buried in Chile, and I'm like, what? He got buried in Chile, in the country? Why would he do that? No, Chile. You know, when he says Chile, and I'm like, Dad, it's really not that funny. It kind of was.
Yeah.
But I think back on it.
Well, you know what? First of all, two things. One, for my audience, we all have video going on that you guys can't see, so just be aware of that. Second of all, the guy with the hat and the earbuds who just sparked that cigarette, he's my favorite guy so far because he's always smiling for no reason. He's just smiling all the time. I love that. Great job. I love that shit.
Joint, not a cigarette.
Yeah. Cheers to you too, sir. And then also a special shout out to Mr. Big Beard, who it looks like you're in a cave. How is it possibly that dark where you are?
Gunshot.
Anyway, wow, this is great. I've never done a show with this many people that I've never met before. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
Awesome to have you
We all
here
listen to
tonight.
SOR. Sorry. We all listen to Spaced Out Radio. We're all regulars.
Well, okay,
Hey.
that makes sense. Yeah. Oh, and that's the other
Can
thing.
you
I
hear
was
me?
gonna- Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me, GG?
Is Neil still here? Yeah, we can
Hey,
hear you.
Neil.
What's up, Neil?
If you ever start, yeah, I'm still here. You talking about people smiling? I'm gonna give you some revelation about that. If you ever look in magazines, like if you go into the store, and people smiling, there's nothing fucking funny about what the fuck's going on. There's nothing funny about what's going on this planet, right? So when I see people smiling on a photograph,
I don't know, Neil.
it
I don't
pisses
know.
me off.
I don't know, Neil. I think I'm a. First of all, I'm a very big fan of.
I want to punch in the face, you know.
I hear what you're saying, Neil. I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, although I'm not a stand-up comic, I'm very in touch with that world. And with that said, there is comedy to be found in any situation, no matter what it is, no matter how fucked up it is. There's always a joke to be found somewhere, and I think it's pretty healthy to be able to laugh at something. Yeah, I saw that sign. You know,
Like Ross said, welcome to the asylum.
You know, laughing.
Yeah, but the thing about this guy is he's not really laughing at he's not really laughing at anything. He's just kind of smiling for no reason, really, is kind of what this guy's doing. And I appreciate that.
Well, I know that, yeah. But he knows he's on camera. That's probably why. But what
No,
I'm saying
I
is,
think he's got a
take
genuine
some
smile.
photographs that's not smiling, that has their mouth closed, and put it on the wall. Do this as a scientific research thing. And as you walk, by the photographs, look at their eyes. They're going to follow you. I mean, this is the dimension that a lot of people don't really believe until someone probably tells you. And see for yourself. And once you figure out what's going on, nothing's funny about what's happening, on Earth.
Well, it's either It's either the least funniest thing ever, or it's the most funniest thing ever, depending on how you look at it. And see, he knows what I'm saying. First of all, hold on, Neil. How long have you been here? Have you been on here this whole time? Neil.
Yeah, I've been listening, but I just finally wanted to say something. The thing is, I see death all around me. I see more death than all the humans in the world has ever seen.
Well,
and what I'm trying to tell y'all, when I see photographs in the, on magazines and, stores, and they're smiling, there's nothing freaking funny about what's going on this planet. But I could communicate with trees, animals, and photographs, because you have to understand, photographs is alive.
Well, yeah, I mean, the magazines in the grocery stores are obviously just straight up bullshit. I agree with that. But I don't know if it's, even some of the most shittiest things.
But they're alive. What I'm trying to tell you, everything's alive everywhere. I mean, photographs, trees. I mean, you ever heard that story where American Indian said, when you take a photograph of somebody, it's like taking the spirit from somebody. Well, actually, that's true. I mean, they're actually captured in the photograph, and my conscious mind is way beyond whatever y'all might think. But when I see photographs smiling, if it's a photograph that's not smiling, I actually could look at it. I'm gonna give you an example. This girl was kidnapped, dead or whatever, and she was missing. It was at a rest stop, and I started reading what happened to her. They found the phone, whatever, in some place, and she started talking to me. She said, "Hey, man, I could see you and I could hear you." And I said, "Yeah, but do you know you're missing? That's why you're in this photograph." And see, I'm a remote viewer, and I don't want to, I don't want to see her dead somewhere, whatever. And I walked away from her that day, and she was like really pissed off because I finally could communicate to someone that could see me and hear me. And he's going to walk off and tell me, "Do you know you kidnapped," whatever. But that's what I'm trying to, say is I could communicate to anything. A grain of sand or a seed. In my scientific research, I took a seed and someone said, what haven't you done yet? I said, well, I haven't looked at something small to look at that, see if it's something living in there. Actually, a seed told me when I looked at the seed, the spirit, the face that was in the seed said, you know what? You need to plant me in the ground. That's what that spirit said. And it's a seed. But, this human race can't comprehend what I'm talking about because y'all blind and you're deaf and you're dumb and some of these religious people I'm starting to look at y'all like mental retarded. I mean, I'm not joking. And when y'all look at me, you're gonna say, "Oh man, he's taking drugs, he's crazy and shit." You. I'm telling y'all, when y'all start to wake up,
there's
a, hey man, he was right.
In fact, hold on, Neil. There is a song called "A Song for the Deaf." You should look that up. Listen to it. It might ring a tone to you. But with that being said, I can't believe we're all still here. Tessa, do you read me?
I read you.
All right, because your picture froze. But how would you like to do to come on an episode for our B-Sides and Rarities channel on Tuesday, sometime Tuesday night?
I'm actually working overnight security 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. on Tuesdays. So that might not work for me because before then I'll be sleeping.
Huh. Okay, what about Monday?
Monday I am free, but I will have to check with the boss man to see what would that.
And by 7 p.m., I mean California time. So what time would that be for you?
That would be 6 a.m. my time. So I'm getting ready for work at that point.
What? Wait, where the fuck do you live?
No, I'm in Colorado, so 7 p.m. your time would be
okay. I thought you... Okay.
Time.
So you're 1 hour ahead.
I'm 1 hour behind. Right?
No, you're...
No, you'd be an hour ahead.
Okay, well, let's settle this right now. What time is it where you are?
California time. Okay, so right now it is... Let's see.
It's 3:01. Right?
3:02 a.m. here.
Yeah,
It's
well,
2
over
o'clock.
here it's 2:02.
2 o'clock right now.
So you're 1 hour ahead. So how about Monday? Or, well, I've got a show on Wednesday. What about Thursday? How about Thursday at 7 o'clock your time?
I would be on the job site, roaming around at that point. I'm actually 20, 30 minutes early going to work, but yeah. So somebody is telling me you're broadcasting live right now?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Who would have...
Got a question for you.
What?
Have you been having back pain or neck pain?
It's very
Ron.
funny.
Try to-
Wait,
yeah.
hold on. Who asked that? Which one of you asked that? Because, yeah, I've had back pain specifically for the last 2 days. Who asked that?
That was me, Robert, the Australian.
Mr. Longbeard.
No, the other one.
Headphones.
The one that you said to take off the screen.
Well, there's fucking like 6 or 7 or 10 people here. I don't know who's fucking who. And
Yeah,
for
'cause,
some
I
reason,
picked up, like,
my
on-
screen
on-
only
Hey,
shows me 4 people.
Gigi, I know why you have back pain.
I'm
Let's
sure
hear
you
it,
do,
Neil.
but I'm gonna-
You want me to tell you why you got
Shut
back pain?
All right, go ahead. Jesus.
Go on, Mr. Know-It-All. Tell him.
Well, what is it?
Neil? Neil?
Well, the reason why you got back pain, like a lot of other people, is the doctors can't explain it. I mean, these demons and devils, they're in your bed. No one sleeps alone. I mean, when y'all eyes are open and y'all do the open eye project, you're gonna grab a gun and fucking flamethrower, firecrackers, and the sword, and you're gonna have it with you all the time. I mean,
Why not just
they're
give
all
him the
around
lightsaber and let him do himself
I mean,
like that?
that's why I'm trying to wake people up.
Well, you know, I thought my back pain was from 20
What?
years of jumping down 20 sets of stairs on skateboards for 20 years. But I don't know. Maybe you're right.
Maybe about 20
No. When I was doing that research with Eric, I slept in the hotel one night for I don't know how long, 2 or 3 years. And
Oh, wait a minute.
the
Hold on.
spirit that was in the bed
Neil, hold
was
on.
giving
Hold
me
on.
back pain.
Neil, hold on. I have to ask you about this. Did you and Eric actually go out there on that trip to go see the... Okay, so how did that... I'm very curious to know what you saw and how you were treated in the area and how that whole experience went. Can you tell that to us?
Yeah, Yeah, we saw a light, man. It was like really freaking us out. And but I brought him to a place where I saw that two different types of aliens and a white Jedi person. He had a hood. He looked like he wasn't a Native American. He was actually a white Caucasian European person, and it was carved in the mountain. But with the snow, I didn't think about the snow when we went at the wrong time. The snow, you couldn't see it, and we took photographs and stuff anyway. But they had a lot of stuff that I didn't see. The time I went, with the snow. See, the snow reveals a completely different picture. You could actually see things that I couldn't see without the snow. Okay, with the snow you could see something, and without the snow you could see something, but it's completely different. But people have to understand is there's different times you could see things. Like when the sun goes down, I call it the dawn hours. DAWN. And but we have a lot of evidence of these giants. I mean, all the way from Los Angeles to Texas. Highway 8 and Highway 10. And like right now I'm at this place, I'm looking at this mountains and stuff. I could see all these immortal gods or whatever you want to call them, these giants that they're been turned into stone, but yet they're still alive. And I'm a level 9. I figure 0 to 9, like the numerology thing. A lot of people talk about the 12th dimension, the 3rd dimension, the 12th, the 13th, and all that. But I'm looking at 0 from 9 to 9 level, and I'm probably the most highest level there is. And one day, a lot of y'all are gonna be able to see. That's why I'm doing the Open Eye Project, to teach you how to see. And the reason why people can't see is because you're 2-volt battery.
Right.
You're not a 12-volt battery no more. I mean, the vampirism and the DNA manipulation of the aliens have brought. I'm gonna give an example. You got 2 strands on DNA. How do you know that we don't have 3? We should have 3.
Right. Okay. Hold on.
Nikola
Tesla said, Neil,
the 3, the 6, and the 9.
Neil. 1 second. Let me just take this back to a. That's weird. Let's see what happened there. All right, let's try. Oh shit, Dave Scott.
I'm like the new Nikola Tesla. Okay.
All right. Once again, Neil,
I don't understand that the last person we had.
Neil, hold on. I'm gonna take this back to a very by the way, I just got dropped for a second. Sorry about that, folks. Neil, my basic question was, did you and Eric go see the engravings at that site? And what did you make out of those engravings?
Yeah.
Is that simple enough?
Well, we went there, and I was very disappointed because the snow was on the mountain, and I couldn't see what I saw last time because the snow was covering it up. And we ran into some light that was like an alien ship. I mean, whatever, orb or whatever you want to call it. And it was like really freaky. And I was like, man, look, we shouldn't be coming out here,
What the fuck? Why am I keep getting dropped?
it was kind of fun. But then we stayed at this hotel, and I mean, I haven't slept in a hotel room in a long time, and these bad spirits started attacking my back. I mean, my back was like killing me. I was kind of moving around. I don't think he noticed that I was trying to throw him out. I would get up and I would aim at my bed, and I would aim at it, and I would throw whatever was underneath the bed out, the window. And but if anybody got pain, the doctors can't explain it, but I'm telling you, what they're doing is these spirits are trying to drain us. They're trying to cut us in half. They're trying to take our, I had them trying to cut my hands off, cut my feet off, cut my head off, and it's, what is it, quantum entanglement is? The universe with the body is quantum entanglement. That's Einstein stuff. He's talking about. I'm talking about. Quantum entanglement really exists, and it's kind of like magic. Because I see it happening. Imagine a man on a horse riding, and I could aim at the dude and flip him upside down and let him land on his freaking head. I mean, I did that a couple times because I was in a place where they had vampires, and the Hitler flag was flying and the Bishop flag was flying in Utah, and it was like, how in the heck you going to have Hitler's face on a flag in southern Utah? And I was, I saw what they were doing to me, so I just started hurting. I started hurting people. I mean, I was killing these vampires. They would actually put tubes in your body, and you could see them sucking through these like a straw. It was,
Yeah. Okay. Hold on, Neil. Hold on.
So
Hold on.
Hurt some people.
I'm sure you did, Neil. Hold on 1 second. Let's get back to a much simpler question. Yes. Tessa's camera did freeze. I don't know if there's anything we can do about that. That's obviously on her end. But let me take this to a very basic question. Did you and Eric... for fuck. I keep getting dropped from this fucking call. All right. Anyway, Neil, can you hear me now? Neil.
Yeah.
All right, let me take this back to a very simple question. Yeah. Were you and Eric able to see the inscribings in that area when you went there? Yes or no?
Oh yeah, he actually took photographs of it. Yeah, I could see it. I mean, it's all over the mountain.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
The one area he started filming a lot of areas, and I was like, look.
Well, he'll who keeps
mountains that's in the United States.
Yeah, well, I mean, Eric will. What the fuck?
That lived upon the earth that was in that area because it was so big of it.
What in the ass is going on? Join the fucking
Go
call.
Find the evidence about the 2 aliens I saw with this dude with a hood like Jedi, like a Star Wars thing. I know our history. Our fathers long ago were giants, and we built space.
Hello? Hey.
Oh, there you are, Tessa.
Yeah, apparently somebody doesn't want me to be here. That's fine.
What happened?
Well, apparently somebody keeps hanging me up. So, good night, everybody. I guess I'm not allowed here. Cheers.
Oh, Tessa.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I guess I didn't talk enough because I haven't talked for the last 45 minutes. All right.
No,
Thank
you're
you.
Still here. You're still here.
Yeah, I'm still here now. Randomly.
Sorry. Tessa, before I wanted to have a chance to talk to you. I told Sandra what I was archive, and he was the one that was really pushing that agenda, not you. You were as professional as you could have been. He was just acting like a prick and a baby. You know what I'm talking about?
Who's in the black screen in my corner?
Tess, you there?
Jeremy, who was that?
That's because you have video turned
talk-
off.
You know what I'm talking about?
No, because I wiped those things from my memory, but I'm trying to remember who you were talking. Oh wait, that was
The smoke.
Eugene. Got pissed off at me because I was talking about the smoke detector and my kids hearing it, but I couldn't hear it, and then all of a sudden his started going off,
Right.
and then he was.
Then the audience also was so engaged in that, like it was very topical and it was sort of paranormal, and he was not going.
Hear it.
He was not going with it. The audience, you handled it so professionally. He was acting like a big baby and a big jerk, and you did not budge. You were so good with him. You didn't even let his mood like touch you. He was really handling it terribly. He was a terrible guest. You know what I mean? He was behaving like a pouty little brat. You know? Oh, we're not talking about me right now. You know? He was horrible. I would never have him back again. I got to tell you. And you were great.
He apologized, and he's like, "Yeah, that was on me," because I was like, "Listen back to the show. Listen to what happened. It wasn't on my end. It was on your end." Even though he couldn't hear it at the time, which makes it even more weird. And then he looked back on it and was like, "That was my fault, not yours." And the show was awesome other than that. And I was like, "Yeah, but like you said, the way he handled it was pretty professional, pretty immature."
He was very immature. He was like very bratty and pouty and not going with the flow. The whole audience was with you. In fact, it was involving him too, because it happened when he was there. And you know what I mean? You were involving him in that whole scenario, which was kind of paranormal. And the audience was all over it. So it was kind of an interesting moment that he was not letting happen because he wasn't talking about him, you know? And you handled it so well. You would just breeze right through it. You were so professional, and you didn't let him. You made him look almost good, but he really sabotaged himself. You know what I mean? He made himself look bad. He looked terrible. He was
No, that's not at all. I'm just hearing the sound after I told you the story. All of a sudden, it started going beep, beep in his background. And I'm like, "That's not on my end. That's on your end." He's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And blah, blah, blah.
No,
Can we get back to the topic? And I'm like,
and the audience was with you. They all heard it. If he would have shut up and like gone with the flow, you know, he could have probably picked it up too and been part of the whole experience, which was kind of unusual, you know? Like
but he came back the next day and he apologized and he said it was on his end, not mine, and I totally understand, and I know he was trying to get so many things through because we only have a certain amount of time, even though we have 3 hours instead of 1 like other people.
But he delayed it even more by bringing it up over and over again, like he wouldn't let it go. You know?
Hold on. Who are you talking about?
Oh God, he was the worst guest. What was his name?
Eugene Braxton, and he was cool. He had some cool perspectives, but he kind of had a hissy fit during that point of the show. But he came back the next day and was like, "That was my end, not yours," and I totally understand. Like, he wanted to get things said and things done, and I was like, do you not hear that? And he didn't hear it. And it was so weird to me that he didn't, because it was so loud on my end.
Yeah.
And other people were hearing it, and some people weren't. So that was the weird thing too. Like, some people were hearing it, some people weren't. He wasn't hearing it, but other people were. And so that was pretty interesting as well, to put that kind of in the
It's so intuitive, and he was so unintuitive and so unempathetic. In fact, he was so hypocritical, because he was just like, the way he presented himself was like this Mr. in the moment and Mr., sensitive. And there he was, he had an agenda to say, and the thing is, he was delaying it more by drawing more attention that, gee, I'm not having as much time because we're dwelling on this other thing, and he kept bringing that up, which delayed it even more. You know what I mean? If he had just gone with the flow, let what happened organically happen, which was happening, and it was cool, and it was paranormal, it was weird, how some, the audience was hearing this sound that was almost deliberate now to screw it up, in a way. It was just a very odd, occurrence that, he should have paid attention and been sensitive to that moment and live in that moment. But he was just dwelling on that he wasn't having his moment of the stuff he was planning to talk about. And he just kept bringing it up. Now, see, there's 5 more minutes till the break. Is there a break coming up? And you were like, no, as a matter of fact, there isn't, Oh, okay. You have 5 minutes, you could get in what you want. And he still wasn't, like, he wasn't using his time well. He was using his time to complain that he didn't have the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we still had at least like 30-something minutes left. I think before the break, he's like, we got a break coming up right after this. And I'm like, no, we still have 30-something minutes left. Yeah. And it's good. Once we got past that point, he kept going with the flow and everything. And he went back and listened like I told him to before. And he was able to hear the beeping and stuff going on. He's like, that was my fault, not yours. And the show was awesome. Other than what had happened at that point.
Other than what he was at, he really behaved poorly, and you handled it incredibly well. You could have said, hey, chill, chill, Phil. What's wrong with you? But you were just so smooth. You were smooth, and you didn't. He kind of sabotaged himself. You didn't help him, and you really didn't hurt him. Which you could have. You did it. I just want you to know that was all him, and I don't think I would not invite him back. I think he behaved very badly. He should, and especially these people that are so enlightened and so forth. That's not being enlightened, That was being very selfish and insensitive, and like a spoiled brat,
Yeah. Well, I just have to say, SOR rocks, and we know how to handle our shit, and, anything he says otherwise doesn't know what they're talking about, and we know how to handle people, and, sometimes it's like, I don't know, you should hang up on this person, but you just gotta kind of cuddle and finesse them and be like, no, this is what's going on, and call them. So, yeah, he did good after that. We had a little hang up there for about 5 or so minutes. But otherwise, we did good. Had a good show.
He did it to himself, though, that he could even blame any content for he did it. He was his worst enemy, He was the one that was maybe making more delays than necessary by constantly dwelling on that he didn't have the time. You know what I mean? That was just, he was wasting his own time. That could have been... He could have gotten his point across so smoothly if he had just gone with the flow, because the flow was going, the audience was going. They were engaged, and it was interesting. It was a strange thing going on. Why don't you just go with it? He couldn't let that moment go. He was like trying to steal it. He didn't want anything to be more important than him for the moment, and you were trying to involve him because everyone else was involved, and he almost tried to get involved, but he was like. It was against his better, he couldn't even let that go. He couldn't do it, So I think he's got to read his own books or something. You better read your book again, dude. You forgot all your messages, But you did great. I just didn't want you to have one moment of anxiety over you doing anything wrong because it was all on him, totally on him.
Just for a moment, I was like, no, that's not what's happening at all. This is what's happening, and he wasn't getting it. So I was just trying to get past that point and get to the next point so we could move on and let the flow keep going, because it was like there was a big boulder in the middle of the river, and we had to get around that, and we got around it, and we kept going. So it worked out well. But it was kind of anxious at the moment, and I did feel a point of anxiety, but I was like, no, like that's not what I'm saying at all.
You were FINE. You were terrific. You handled it like a pro. You were totally professional, and he wasn't. You know, he was totally not professional. You know, I would hesitate to have him again. You know, I think he's got to watch his ego. You know, you fool with those egos. Oh, but tonight, wait. Who is on tonight?
Neil Robichaux.
Wait a minute, not Neil. No, it was another guy. Oh, John Teeter. Whose show was John Teeter on? Did anyone know that John Teeter fella? I think he was on the Hologram Matrix. Gigi, this is another guy. Is Gigi still here?
Yeah, no. John's show is only on Tuesdays, so that couldn't have been tonight.
Teeter, it might have been a rerun. John Teeter, like the guy who's time traveled supposedly.
Well, there's like 17 different John Teeters, so it's kind of hard.
The one I heard tonight, I think it might be Bruce May, and I think it might be this other guy, Willie DeMille. Or DeMille.
No, it's now trust me, I understand what everybody thinks about Bruce May, but I actually met him and hung out with him at the UFO Congress last year, and he was what I might describe as a multiple personality kind of guy, because at first we were talking about skateboarding and surfing for like an hour. And then all of a sudden, he changed the subject to, he was hired on a military sort of the Ordville, spaceship, and they were hired to attack this planet, and they made some sort of suicide bombing attempt to destroy the enemy. But it's really weird because before he talks about that, he seems really fucking cool. Like, he's a really fucking cool guy. But then, once you get into that aspect, which, by the way, we had him on one of our B-side shows a long time ago, like 2 years ago. But yeah, once he gets into that shit, it's really hard to... But here's the thing, because I've heard his story on Wolfman's show, I heard it on my show about a year and a half ago, and I heard it again just a few months ago. Here's the thing that really kind of interests me. His story and none of the details ever change. It's the same story every time. It's as if, even if what he's saying is not true, he actually believes what he's saying, if that makes any sense. So
listen,
that's all I can say about it.
You're all buying it. Everybody bought it. There's just some doubt. But the thing is, the other guy I want to mention, who was on twice. Now, he was on just recently. I can't remember. His name is DeMille. And I think you might have had him, Tess. DeMille?
Dave had him on twice.
I had Matt DeMille on 3 times.
Now, I remember Matt DeMille saying that he was Orion, right? Did you remember him saying that?
No.
Incarnate Orion or whatever? Well, the other night he slipped and he said he was Enke. Out of the blue, he's Enke. He says, oh, so-and-so knew I was Enke. I'm thinking, wait a minute, how are you Enke? And he did not address the question correctly. He didn't really answer it. So he slipped, So here he was. And the thing with Bruce May is, Bruce May thinks he's Orion. This is the connection. This is the dots that I connected. Now, to me, they all sound the same. They have the similar voice. But they also have the similar way of believing their incredible stories. And they all have incredible stories,
Yeah, but here's the thing about Bruce, and I can't believe I'm even sticking up for this guy. But his story never slipped. ever. In the last 2 years that I've talked to him, every aspect of every part of his story has always been the same. Whereas the guy that you're talking about, obviously, he slipped on his story.
They both identified with Orion.
Now,
That's the thing that got me. Like, they both thought they were Orion incarnate. And then the guy who thought he was Orion recently slipped and thought he was Enke. So suddenly he switched.
Just to be clear, I'm not saying that Bruce May's story is legitimate. I'm just saying that I've heard his story 4 times, and none of the details have ever switched any time. And when I hung out with him, he was a really cool guy. So that's not to say that I believe his story. I'm just saying that I like I said, I think he actually does believe what he is saying. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying I think he really does believe that.
I think he does too, and I think DeMille believes it. And I don't know if I believe DeMille now. I believe DeMille too, until I heard him slip about being Enke. I'm like, wait a minute. A month ago, you were Orion.
No, I didn't hear him say either of those things. He's a Mason and all the other things. I didn't hear him say Enke or Orion, anything like that.
He might not do it on your show. He did it on somebody else's show because he said he met his brother, who was maybe he met Enke. I don't know, but they, they're brothers now.
It's on my show, so I don't know where that's coming from.
I heard more than one show.
Maybe he came out of the closet.
Pardon me?
Maybe Enke is coming out of the closet.
Perhaps, but I'd like an explanation of how he could be either. First of all, how are you Orion? How are you Enke? How is Bruce Orion? Was he cloned? I think Bruce had an explanation. He might have. No,
he's been pure and true on my show and only given me the utmost pure information, and he's always been a really informative person. Anytime anybody asks him any questions, he lets them know exactly what you're talking about. So I haven't heard this.
I bought it too. I believed him too. I'm not a bit debunker. Trust me. I believe everybody. I'm very naive. So I usually believe everything. And I thought everything on the internet was true until pretty recently. Well,
I'm naive, but I know when somebody's lying to me and when they're not, and he's never tried to deceive me. But he may have done that on other shows, but as far as on my show, he hasn't. There's certain things we couldn't talk about because we have people that are funding our show, and we can't talk about child molestation and all these other things. Right. So we didn't talk about that, and we had to skip over it, and so other people weren't able to understand what we were talking about unless I personally messaged them. So that was what was going on there. But yeah.
You believe this DeMille fella, right?
Yeah. He's a really good friend of mine, and everything he shared with me.
Yeah.
Looked up, done the background check on and everything has been but he's never said anything about Orion or any of the other shit. He's been just talking about what he's experienced and so on and so forth. Right. I've never heard the Orion thing. I've never heard. What was the other one?
Well, he was on John Polk's show, I think, recently. He's been on John Polk's more than once. And I think he was on Dave and he was on yours, right? So he's made his rounds. He's definitely. I've heard all the interviews. I've heard all of his interviews. So I hear different things at different times. In fact, I even brought up something he mentioned on another interview. Because he was supposedly with David Dare, with these group of big heads trying to change our timeline so that with Nibiru, we did something to Nibiru so it wouldn't hit us. They saved the planet. So that I thought was great. Thank you. But really? How do you do that?
I don't know about that. But.
And he dropped Adair's name. So when he dropped Adair's name, I really believed him. I'm like, whoa, these guys are fucking incredible. But then I know that
Royal red wine.
Pardon me?
Are you drinking Royal red wine? That 14% kind of wine.
Oh no, I don't. I haven't. I don't drinking Perrier.
In the last 7 minutes.
Oh, but you know what? Somebody gave me one of those sticks, a marijuana stick tonight.
Oh,
It's like I forgot about that.
uh-huh.
That was a long time
Marijuana
ago, though.
stick. What do you mean, like a
You
joint?
suck on it. You suck on this thing. It's like honey. It comes in like an old kid toy, like an old kid candy.
Oh,
And you
so
rip the top.
a vape pen, basically, an oil vape.
You drink it.
Thing
You
about
drink.
a guy that repeated himself all the time. That's what you both are doing, is repeating yourself.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Is that the marijuana? Sorry about that.
Yeah, the marijuana stick from 15 years ago, yeah. It's kicked in finally.
No, it was
I've just never heard the term marijuana stick. I don't know
no.
what that means.
It came in a straw. It was like a straw candy, and it was liquid in it.
Stick was
CBD strips. CDB.
Well, then that's not really marijuana.
No, it's a CBD.
Okay, well, there we go.
I really think it affected me, but I guess it did. Sorry, guys.
Yeah,
You're gonna fall asleep, Gigi. Are you getting sleepy, little sheepy?
No, I am getting hungry though. I might have to go get some food
Yeah, go grab some munchies.
in a minute. My cat has decided to sit on my lap, and
Yeah, they like to infiltrate and like grab claws or interrupt. I've had to grab mine and bring it up on the chest and hello, here's my kitty, and then it runs away and leaves me alone.
Yeah.
But
in case you guys didn't see her, here she is.
little tiny.
You know what's funny? Her name is actually Kitty. That's her name.
Oh, I miss Kitty.
I've had her for 5 years.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Yeah, no, she's the cutest, sweetest little being I've ever known. So,
Where?
yeah, it's my little buddy right here. But, yeah, I am getting pretty hungry, though. I think I'm going to have to go and walk down to the old Jack in the Box and get the old, the double patty melt. I don't know if you guys know about that.
Yeah.
But, holy shit, it is dank as fuck, let me tell you.
Alrighty.
Cheers.
Alright, but, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go. Tessa, it's been great talking to you. Daryl, as always, obviously, all the other 6 or 7 or 10 or 15 or how many people are here, it's been great talking to you. But
Bye, Gigi.
I do have to go right now. So, with that said,
Okay.
Tessa, I will get back in touch with you about the show next week. And other than that, I'm out of here, folks. Thanks for hanging out.
G.
It's been a fun time. All right.
Thanks, G. It was fun.
All right. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Yeah, I gotta go, Kitty. Oh shit, I forgot to end this. Alright. Cheers, folks. I'm done. We'll see you next week.